all, this is May and welcome back to my channel for a brand new speed build. So today I am building a family home in Willow Creek for my save file that I'm currently working on. And before I go on talking about today's build, let me start by saying Happy New Year to everyone. It's been a couple of weeks since I last did a voiceover. I actually got sick with a cold just before Christmas, and so I thought I'd let you guys skip out on listening to my, sore throat, stuffy nose voice. So hopefully it's not as bad today. I can still hear that it's not what it's supposed to sound like. But yeah, I thought I'd just let you guys know just in case I sound a bit different. I mean, I feel like I can sound a bit different every time I do a voiceover because I actually struggle with like throat and nose problems sometimes. And especially after just eating, my throat gets a bit weird, so I try to avoid doing a voiceover then. And sometimes doing a voiceover can be a bit stressful because of those problems, but I am trying my best and I think I found a nice balance between the non-talking speed builds and the voiceover ones at least. And hopefully you don't mind the mix either. I do love talking about my save file builds in particular and the households that are going to live in them. And for today's video, there will be a small family living in this rather narrow home on the Daisy Hovel lot, which you can find in the bottom right neighborhood in Willow Creek called Foundry Cove. And this neighborhood is actually soon finished for my save file. I recently posted a starter home here on the Creek Cabana lot. There's a residential rental lot with the BFF household, and I've made a single mom's home here. There is today's build, and then there's one last lot where I thought I would make two houses on one lot, where one of them is available for rent and the other one is occupied by a household. I'm also making good progress on the commercial district in Willow Creek. So far I've finished one of them, which is a vet clinic. I actually did another vet clinic like a couple of months ago, and just like a few weeks ago I thought to myself, it doesn't really fit the vibe that I want to go for. So I got rid of the old one and then I did the newer one. So if you've been watching the save file speed builds for a while and you notice that there are actually two vet clinics, that's the reason. And then there are two builds. I'm very close to finishing in that commercial district as well, which is a cafe, and I thought of doing like an antique store, so like a retail store where you sell kind of like older furniture and some other knickknacks. So if I'm able to make that work, I will do it. Otherwise, I could still end up choosing to do something else. But I'll just have to see how it goes. And yeah, I'm just like overall making a lot of progress. And I'm hoping I'll be able to publish the first version of my save file the first half of 2025. And I've been working on this since April, so we're actually getting closer to the first anniversary, if you will, of me working on this. And for the first version of the save file, the base game worlds will have been renovated with new builds, there will be new households and new storylines, and you can hear a lot about like all the new things in my speed builds. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm always looking forward to continue working on this save file. And I really appreciate everyone leaving comments on my videos as well. It makes me very happy that you're looking forward to the save file as well. And before I talk about the household for today's build, I just wanted to thank you all for the support in 2024, whether it be here on YouTube, on Twitch, or elsewhere on my other socials if you follow me there. And as some of you might have seen in the community post I posted in December, I was officially laid off from my job, and seeing everyone's comments and support was very heartwarming. And some of you were so generous to give donations through Ko-Fi or through the super thanks here on YouTube that you can do in the comments section. So I just really want to say thank you so much for doing that. I didn't expect anything at all, but know that I really appreciated it. And thank you for taking your time to spread some kindness So yeah, at the moment I'm doing content creation full time until I'm able to find a new job, which hasn't been the easiest because I have actually been looking for something new even before I was laid off this past month. So I'll just have to cross my fingers, continue looking, and hope that this year has something good in store for me. And because of this situation, I actually made the decision to move my build tray files over to Patreon, as some of you might have noticed. And as an option for me to earn even just a little extra from what I do, the tray files will be in early access for 2 weeks for any paid members, starting from only $1. And as I've done previously, I plan on publishing 1 to 2 builds every week going forward, and all the tray files of those will be on Patreon. And of course, the builds will still be uploaded to the gallery as per usual, so there's not going to be any difference about that. And yeah, after the 2 weeks are up, the tray files will be available for everyone, of course. And I just thought that the Patreon could be for everyone who would like to show some extra support for what I do, or if you want to gain early access to the tray files, because it does take some extra time to like get the tray files and put them up and everything. And it's not expected at all for anyone to like join the Patreon. You can become a free member as well, so you get notified when the tray files go public. So yeah, it's not expected at all, but just very, very appreciated. The same goes for my new YouTube memberships. It's there for anyone who would like to show some extra support, if you do have the means for it, of course. And you also get some cute bee emotes and a membership badge next to your name if you are a member. So yeah, I just felt the need to mention all of these new things. And if you do end up using either the Patreon or the YouTube memberships, thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot and it does make a difference. So yes, thank you. And back to the build. As you can see, I'm currently working on the outside of the house here. I wanted this house to stand in style with the rest of the builds I've made so far in this neighborhood. And this one is a bit more narrow and longer than the other ones, and there will be 2 parents, a child, and an infant living here. And I was actually surprised that I was able to fit all of them into this house, because it kind of looks smaller on the outside than what it actually is. But yeah, I wanted this to feel very cozy and family friendly, both on the outside and the inside. So we just got a lot of plants and trees outside here, and we do have a fenced in backyard with a couple of activities. There will be a swing set in the back and some monkey bars in the front, or like on the left side of the house. And seeing as the child living here is into space and rocket ships and everything, I felt it was very fitting to have this rocket ship school project in the backyard. So this is a thing you can get if you have the Parenthood pack, where the kids and teens will bring home school projects every week that they have to do. And I don't think I showed it in the speed build, but I did also add this cardboard box rocket ship decoration that comes with growing together, I do believe. And you can also do some barbecuing here, and the back porch will have a few benches with cushions, and I just imagine this would be a very cozy space to just hang out and chill with family or friends or even neighbors. So we're going to have the Moon family live here. We have the dad, Julian, the mom, Alma, the child, Kato, and the infant, Lucy. And for this family, I feel like I didn't really have any like deep or special storylines, you know what I mean? At least in comparison to some of the other families I've made, at least. So the overall idea that I had for the Moons was that Julian has an older sister named Vera, and she again has her own family living somewhere else. And originally, I wanted the 2 families to live next to each other in like each their own townhouse, but that idea kind of fell flat for some reason. I decided not to go for it, and mind you, it's been a couple of months since I made these families, so I don't really remember. And well, it might have been because I had to limit how many you have to limit how many residential rental units you have in the save file, because you can only have 99 in an entire save file, like across all the worlds, which in retrospect aren't that many, I think. So that might have been it, that I just had to limit how many units I have. But yeah, I'll get back to talking about Vera and her family in the future at some point. I think I'll add her into one of the non-base game worlds actually, so it might be a while until we hear about her again. But until then, we do have Julian Moon, who is, as mentioned, the dad of the family. So both Julian and Alma, they are young adults, by the way. And I think they got together pretty early on in their lives, like when they were teens. And they might have been like classmates in high school or something. And then they got married once they become young adults and they had kids. Or they might have actually gotten Kato first, actually, before they got married, now that I think about it. And Julian here, he is a salary person, the career that came with the Snowy Escape pack. And the salary person career is sort of like the business career, but it has the two branches, expert and supervisor. And I do believe that the salary person career is kind of inspired by the real life business jobs, I would say, like office jobs. And Julian here, he is actually level 5 in this career. So I chose the expert branch for him, meaning that he works with a lot of data and numbers, lots of spreadsheets and all that, which I thought fit him because he does have the geek trait, which I do believe is beneficial for earning the programming skill, which you need for this job, along with logic. And speaking of logic, I actually don't think I added any logic related activities in this house, like anything you can earn the logic skill with. But so maybe I'll add something, or maybe he could just use a chess table at the park or something, because I am planning on making a big park in Willow Creek, like to renovate the park we already got there. Plus, I would love to do a cemetery on the other big 50 by 50 lot, I do believe it is, and the one that is next to the Spencer Kim Lewis household. So those are on my planner of builds to do at least. So that's a bit about Julian, and next up we have Alma. And Alma, she is the mom of the family. She is a cute but slightly like awkward sim, but she is actually a romance consultant, which might be like an interesting combination. She's always been a shy sim, I would say, but that socially awkward trait can be changed through gameplay, if I'm not mistaken. At least she very much loves her kids and her family. She values family a lot, and she loves to be as involved as possible. So I thought since she loves to bake, she's probably the mom who would love to make something for an event at school or for like a bake sale, anything like that. And she even has the Appliance Whiz aspiration that comes with the Home Chef Hustle pack. So she probably loves to help people through her job and to make people happy through baking cakes and sweets. I am also planning on making Alma's extended family, like one of her parents and siblings, perhaps in Mount Komarebi. So the Moons would probably travel to Mount Komarebi every now and then to visit the family for the holidays and so on. And that was very, very short about Alma. We don't have a lot of time to talk like very in depth about the family today because of the length of the speed build, but next up we have Kato, and he is the child of the household. He's the one who's into space, rocket ships and all of that. He is a smart kid. He does have the genius trait, and he would like to be an astronaut when he grows up. And I wanted to reflect that in his bedroom as well. So there's a lot of different rocket ships here and there, like there's a lamp shaped as a rocket ship and a decoration just standing atop of his bookshelf as well. And to go with that theme, I think Kato would be into the Void Critter characters you can find in The Sims 4. And with the Kids Room Stuff pack, you get this rather big like gaming machine which you can place on the floor that you can use to play against each other with different Void Critters. And I don't think I've ever used that one before. I don't have any recollection of it, at least. And you'll see these yellow sparkles on the walls by his bed. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they're from either Growing Together or Horse Ranch. I can't really like remember at this moment, but I very often forget about those, but they're so pretty. And they also came in a ceiling version, which actually reminds me of these like glow in the dark stars I used to have on my ceiling as a kid. So a bit like nostalgic. And I just thought that was a nice detail for this room. For Cato's storyline is that he has a bad relationship with the kid across the street, which is Casper Sloan, who lives with his mom, and I have done a speed build for that house as well, if you would like to know more about Casper and the whole family situation going on there. But yeah, Casper is a bit of a meanie, he's going through a rough patch in his life, and he and Cato, they just don't get along. At that moment at least, because who knows what will happen in the future. So yeah, there's just a bit of like rivalry going on there, and I'm not sure if their parents get along either. So that's some kind of interesting dynamic you could explore if you decide to play around with this household. And yeah, last but not least, we have Lucy Moon, the infant of the family. She's a sunny kid, and I just don't know what else to say about the infants in this game. Same with the toddlers and babies, like in my households, because they've got their whole life ahead of them, you know. They're still developing, but at least I did give her her own like cute bedroom, which has some soft yellows and greens and just like all the necessary things you would need for an infant. Other than that, I am just working on the interior of the house. I've just finished up the living room and kitchen here. I really do like how those rooms turned out. There's a lot of like Dream Home Decorator, Parenthood, and Growing Together stuff in this house. I feel like those just they match really well together. So we got some of this warm light wood going on throughout the entire house. I love the Parenthood kitchen counters in the kitchen. They're literally one of my favorite sets to use for kitchens. Yeah, another area of this house that I really like is the washer and dryer beneath the staircase. I was planning on putting those in the mudroom to the backyard, but instead I wanted to try something new. And I did playtest this, so it is functional, and I actually got this idea from a while back actually, because I vividly remember when Deligracy did her Parenthood Let's Play years and years ago. She built a house with a washer and dryer beneath the staircase like this. And I don't know why that's something I remember so well, but I've just always liked that idea, so I wanted to include it here. As for the upstairs, I have already talked about the kids' bedrooms, and that leaves us with the parents' bedroom. It is quite narrow and long and blue as well. I did struggle with the layout of this bedroom in the beginning because of the shape and where the windows were located, so that's why I decided to add in the row of wardrobes next to the door. And again, I'm not 100% satisfied with having the door so close to the wardrobes, but I didn't really come up with anything else that I liked more, and now I think I'm at peace with it. So it's just a pretty simple bedroom though. You got the bed, nightstands, a desk so you can do some work, and just a simple bench opposite of the bed with a mirror and some clutter. I didn't have space for the play item where you can put the infant on to practice like tummy time or whatever in Lucy's bedroom, so I used the empty corner in the parents' bedroom for that actually. And yeah, other than that, I am currently finishing up the build here and will soon head into the screenshots. So that's basically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content in the future. If you want to be notified of when I upload a video next, make sure to click the bell icon too. This build is playtested and up on my gallery. My ID is honeymaysims, or you can find me with the hashtag honeymaysims as well. You can also grab the tray files in the description over on Patreon. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today, and I can't wait to talk to you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Bye!